Hello, and this is my post-mortem about my contribution to the Collab game. I am a junior, and I was specialised in UI design, and I was the UI designer for this module. Which is why I am starting this video with the game shut down, because I have made the opening animation and the main menu system for our game, along with many other stuff. So if I open the game now, this startup splash screen, I implemented it, as well as animating this team logo one and this game title one. When the game starts up, it starts some nice music, as well as bring in animation for the text. Now, all audio for this main menu was implemented by me, and most of the code and the widgets were implemented by me, but a little bit of this title screen was not me. Mostly how the animation looks was not me, but the code and the speed that it ended up being was me, because it required adjustments to match the audio. The code for clicking and progressing here was made by me. And all these camera animations I actually animated myself. The layout of these buttons again was not me, but the actual hover effects and audio that is played was made by me. And as I've said, all animations for clicking these buttons was all made by me. And the noises for soft flipping pages here was by me, and it does not play if you click but don't actually change page. The settings themselves are technically made by me, but I just copied the previous pause menu setting screens and adjusted them to fit inside of this. So these widgets themselves are made by me, but I have not been the sole person who created it. I just adjusted a copy. All other widget you see now are all by me, so the quick confirmation screen, which I will show quickly before I get into it. It does a nice little fade out animation and then shuts the program. Again, the splash screen, all but this University of Staffordshire animation were made by me. And just for the sake of this video, I am actually going to turn the audio down. I'll keep it on a little bit. And the quick functionality I just showed, the no obviously also works, returns you back to the buttons. Settings I've already shown working, and credits I have not yet shown. Again, all animations made by me, and this every animation and functionality for this screen here is made by me. So each of the cartridges have a hover effect with noises that play. Noise for sliding out, noise for sliding back in, out, in, out, in. If you were to click a cartridge, well, first of all, if you click this cartridge, you return back to the main menu. But if you were to click one of these cartridges up here, it will play a different noise for actually entering the machine, as you will hear. And then if you were to click it again, there's another hover effect for here, which will also play more audio, and if you click it, it's removed from the machine, returned. And what you may have also noticed is this piece of paper pops up once the card is in the machine, because now it is ready to use. And the paper has another hover effect. This is just to show you where on the screen you can click. So if you're hovering over this paper and it does nothing, you're not going to expect to be able to click on it, because it's not giving you any reason to think you can. Whereas this does, all of these do, this does, the paper does. So these are the clickable elements in this scene, which isn't very much important for an integrated one like this. The previous ones you could probably get away without hover effects, even though I have hover effects, because in a screen like this, it's very obvious that the buttons, that it's very obvious that the text are buttons, because this is not something you'd see in an environment. But the credits is very much a scene where hover effects like this are pretty necessary for communicating to your player what you can or can't click. And now I will show the machining function. So, swapping between the different cartridges swaps the paper that appears out the top. There's one for each major element of our design, of our group. So if I start with production and you click the paper, it brings it to the screen and lists the people in that team. So for our producer, we only had one. Now you click anywhere on the screen except from the paper itself. You can't click here. You also can't click back, because I don't want you to be able to return straight back to the things from this screen by accidentally clicking it. So you just need to click an empty space on the screen, and that's going to shut down. Now if you remove that, it's no longer clickable there, obviously, and it will not be active till another cartridge is in. Now for the art team, that brings up a different list of our artists. Same for concept, same for design, which is the list I'm on there, Brandon Meller. Same for tech, and same for animation. That's every screen in the credits menu now. So I can remove that. Actually, I'll leave that in. If I hit the back button, while this cartridge is in, and when I go back, you'll see it's been reset. That's an intentional design choice to make it ready to go every single time and not have to require the player to remove the previous cartridge, which is also why there's an option to remove it manually, or if you don't want to have to do that every single time, you can just put another cartridge in and the other one is returned automatically with an animation, if you've noticed. So when you click this, not only will this animate back down, the next one will animate in. So that animates down and that animates in, down. And that is everything to do with this screen now, I believe. And all that's left is to go into the game, which will play another animation made by me, and it will then fade into a loading screen that I made. Little loading effect here, which is pretty much instantly paused because the level does not take long to load at all. Now, first thing I like to do is go into the settings and adjust these to work, to get a better resolution. And since I'm recording a video, I like to just lower the FPS a bit to help my PC handle it while also recording a video. These pause menu settings is one of the only UI widgets I have had little to no contribution in, so I cannot take credit for anything shown in this pause menu, but it's a pretty good system. However, all of these play HUDs, all the play HUD things on the screen now, except for the tutorialization on the left there, is made by me. That this you interact pop-up, I made and spoke to tech people to get them to implement it into the objects themselves. The progress bars in the bottom left that you just saw that went up when I picked up the med kit, and went up, and the animation with the health bar that went up when I used the med kit is a very complicated animation I made. And the stamina bar below it will go down when you sprint, and it will go back up when you're regaining stamina, like so. There's an objectives tracker in the top left of the screen, and if you can see, there's a little Q in it, which just suggests that if you hit Q, something will happen. In this, I'm just going to lower the audio a second again. It's got louder since I've joined back in here. Right. So if I were to hit Q, that will expand to provide more details, but if I don't want the details, you can hide them again. There's a currently mysterious bar in the covering most of the top of the screen. I'll get into later, but the key thing of note so far is underneath it on the right is a 0p/s, which in this case means power per second. And above the gun, there's a ammo widget which will go down with shots fired, and if you were to reload, it updates to your new ammo count. So because I shot 3 bullets and then reloaded, my currently available bullets went up to 7, and my total available to reload with went down by 3. That's the last of the tutorialization, so that won't pop anymore. Next thing is damage widgets. So these widgets that are popping up when you deal damage, I made those, and I had initially made a much more complicated system of accumulative damage numbers that would count up more rapidly fired shots, but due to a small oversight with that, it wasn't working for the final build. Basically, I had only tested it on a static testing box, which meant it would not follow the enemies, so you would do a bunch of damage as they're moving towards you, and the original widget being updated is from where you first hit them. And in the time frame I had to fix that once becoming aware of it, it just wasn't possible, so it had to be cut. Next thing I will note, so if you go over to here and you activate your objective, there's now a little timer at the top of the screen, again made by me. It's going to count down your objective and let you know how long you have left of it, and once that completes, it will update the objective list, so I will open that. It doesn't have to be open for it to be updated. Just to show it working fully, I want to have it open. And I hope I don't die here, because I don't want to have to load back into this. But I am pretty bad at this. Right, now that that's completed, you'll see the main objectives has gone up by 1. The total objectives have gone up by 1. And I am now gaining power on the power bar widget at the top. And it now has 1 green arrow up, suggesting I have a positive change applied, and I'm gaining 1 power per second. And here is one of the traps for our game. If I were to turn that on, you'd see I'm now consuming 5 power per second, which is bad, so I will instantly turn that off, because I was using more power than I was gaining, so I was losing power. I've just walked into the boss room accidentally. So I was losing power, and I'll just finish this. So because I was using more power than I was gaining, I needed to cut back on some power before a power outage occurred. And now that I've killed that boss, you'll see my main objectives complete has gone up to 2. And because I've picked up a new weapon, you'll see the weapon name on the widget has updated to the new weapon. Another thing you can do with your power is closing doors, which only uses 1 power, So now you'll see I'm on 0 power per second again, because I'm gaining the same amount of power as I'm losing. If I were to open that back up, I'm now gaining power again. Oh, perfect timing. That widget on the floor there is a power-up widget. So if I were to pick this up, you'll see now in my oh, don't die. You'll now see in my Play Vitals bar an active timer to tell me how long I have left of this. And as you'll see by the widget, I'm doing a massive amount of damage that no enemy will survive. This next one is unlimited ammo, which will have a different look on my bar, but lasts a similar amount of time. And now this just means any shots fired while this is active do not consume ammo, as you will see on the widget. I'll pick that up. And this is the third and final power up in the game, which is a protection, which I can't actually use right now because I don't have enough health to take a hit. So I want to go get some health quickly before this runs out. There should be a med kit up here. Yes, here we go. Watch the med pack counter when I pick this up. Goes up by 1. And then watch the health bar when I use this. It immediately goes up and then slowly meets the bar to show what your end health will be and what the health transitioning to it is. And now that I have more health, actually, I will show this widget working just in time, hopefully, if he hits me. It sends off an explosion around my player that just killed them all. And again, when I pick up a new weapon, you'll see the ammo change and the title, like so. If I were to activate another objective, you'll see the timer pop up again. And if I survive this completing, you'll see the power will continue to go up again. Now that, nope, I did not. But this is an example of the death screen. So you can restart the game from here, or you can return to the main menu. I'll restart. And it also showed you how many of the objectives you had completed. Now let me just fix all the video settings, because it sort of glitches when you hit the restart button, but it can be fixed. So yeah, back into the game now. Although I believe I have showed everything that I wanted to show off, all the widgets. Yeah, the most noticeable thing is that there's a lack of power warning symbol that shows up when you are losing power due to a last minute mistake that went unrealized. And there is one more thing not shown in this video, which is the success screen, just because it would take too long to get through the entire game, and I am not good enough to get through the entire game. So yeah, that is it for my post-mortem. Thank you for watching.